Hello, welcome everyone to the latest episode of MoLabs. We're excited to have you here. Um, for those who haven't joined us before, MoLabs is an online webinar series all around the topic of AI and emerging technologies. A lot of it is all very new for us at MoFilm, so we're kind of taking you along the journey of discovery with us. And the goal is with the webinar series is to help educate and support and inspire you around all this, the new technology that's out there at the moment. And my name is Sophie Robertson, just to introduce myself. And this is my co-host, Harriet Beaumont. We are both UK based and both work at MoFilm. So hello, nice to see you. And this episode is season 2, episode 4. We've done quite a few. Harriet and I have hosted quite a few episodes now. And if you haven't watched them, go back onto our MoFilm YouTube page and they're all there. We've done some platform demonstrations of tools like puppetry, Descript, Runway, and we've done more holistic episodes as well about general emerging AI trends. So definitely worth having a look at those if you haven't already. But today we are thrilled to be joined by Brent Chidoba, who is CEO from Biteable. Biteable is an online video making tool that utilizes AI and other technology to generate video. And we're excited today to have an introduction to Biteable, and Brent's going to take us through a demonstration of the platform as well. So thank you for joining us, Brent. It's a pleasure to have you.
Great. Thank you so much. Pleasure to be here, and thanks for inviting me on.
You're welcome. So I'm going to hand over to you, Brent, I think, and you can talk us through Biteable, and I think you've got some videos to share. So over to you.
Perfect. So yes, my name's Brent Chidoba. I'm based in the US. I'm the CEO at Biteable. Biteable's a startup that we've actually been around for 10 years. So a startup in how we operate, but have sort of made it through at least a decade. Our platform is for video creation. It's a horizontal platform, and that there's a lot of types of things you can do on it, from things engaging with customers to engaging with stakeholders. Students, governments use us. So it's, thousands of people sign up every day. We have thousands of paying customers. And we'll get into some of the product to show some of the highlights. I think for your series on AI, as anybody in the video space, AI developments over the last 2 years have been very important to monitor, just to see, is this disruptive? Is it additive? Do we have a unique point of view on it? I think what we've found is there are refined technologies like captioning services, AI voices, image creation, that you kind of have to incorporate. It gives people superpowers of what they can do in their editing flow, but AI isn't the kind of be all end all. People aren't creating videos where they're showcasing their product to their customers by just telling an AI what to do, but using the tools that things like Adobe, Descript, others have done, really empower people to do more creative things and expand the audience, or make existing video creators that have those skill sets even better and faster at what they're doing. So we try to incorporate a lot of that stuff into our platform as well.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but that's exactly how we've kind of approached a lot of the MoLabs episodes so far, in that it's a tool to help you as a creative, to help facilitate that whatever that product that you're making, or that film, or that rather than a replacement for any sort of creativity.
Yep. And so I guess to show off Biteable a bit, we're a video maker company. It'd be silly if I was just doing slides. We have a great video that shows off the product. If you want to go to that next scene here, and we can play. This is our kind of 1-minute product explainer. One thing I'll add on that, which I'm very proud of, when we made this, was every single thing in that video was made on Biteable. Like we could make that right now. There's like one design from Figma that one of our UX designers did like a workflow on that shows what the interface is moving toward. But other than that, most video companies, when you go to their website, it's something that was created in Adobe Premiere or Final Cut Pro that they had an editor do, which is just a reality of kind of how people want to show things off. But I do love that we've reached a point, at least from a feature perspective, where someone on our marketing team made that video, which is great.
Yeah.
The other thing, I think, before we get into the product and some of the questions that'll make sense to talk through, seeing what people do on Biteable really kind of helps things click for people of like what's relevant, what can I do. In our video explainer, we show a lot of the types of content, the animated stuff, the effects that can happen. There's a lot of, it's combining Canva, PowerPoint, and parts of Premiere and stuff like that together and trying to simplify it with a gigantic content library. We have 3 videos we'll show just to showcase a few different use cases of types of customers, and these are all ones that have been published on social channels that we were able to share them. So this is just an advertisement in social size, but this is just like an ad that I saw that was just really cool looking, that I think showcases some of how people use the product. So really simple, but kind of nicely done. This is the kind of thing that, someone who's used the product for a few videos could probably do this in less than 10 or 15 minutes if they have those assets ready. And then they've got a template that they can work with if they want to kind of reformat this for other purposes.
And Brent, just before we move on to the next one, so were they able to kind of input their own brand colors and stuff into Biteable? Like, I'm sure you're going to go into this, so I don't want to jump ahead too much, but that is like a fully branded piece of work that they've made super quickly and can just push out straight away, right?
Yeah, there's a few things that we do with brands. The first time someone signs up for an account, if they're using a company email, we're gonna see if we can find colors for that company and a logo, just so it's already there when they start making a video. Otherwise, they can go set up their brand, fetch their brand. That's just like kind of, we want the default colors to be quickly accessible, and we're creating combos and sets of things to just make that speedy. But yeah, anytime they go back into the product, like all this stuff is right there, and kind of one-click access to brand things or use combinations of their brand settings.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks.
And fonts and all that kind of stuff too. I think fonts, we realized when we added custom font uploads, how powerful and popular that was too. I've worked in a bunch of design and video businesses and realized like fonts matter a lot.
They do. Fonts. I was going to ask you about that because often when you use other, tools in this kind of realm, you have to use standard fonts, and that can be quite frustrating if you've got specific ones for your brand. So yeah, that's really cool. Thanks.
And then the next one here we have, this is kind of a pure internal Upwork. We're probably all familiar with Upwork, but Upwork is one of our sort of power users. Their entire Upwork learning center for the professionals is just a lot of Biteable videos. So we see a lot of traffic to the ones that they're hosting. But anybody can get to these in the professional center. But I saw this one as like one of the first ones that their professionals experience. And this pretty simple video, but again, a much more compelling way to provide information than just pure sort of text or slides or document. And on that, I think that's a very simple video, simple message, but just really nice, clean animations. I think that's where Biteable helps them and a lot of customers the most, is just this library of easy to find layouts, animations, and all that stuff to kind of quickly make any kind of content like this.
I'm interested also, and you might talk about this later, about talk about music and whether that's something you have a inbuilt library for, or if that's something that you can pull in from external libraries.
Yeah, we'll show some of that, I think, but the short answer is yes, we have a library. We had a few hundred tracks custom made for the types of kind of music that we knew would resonate. For like that one's like a simple sort of business appropriate but upbeat song. So we have a huge library of, oddly, in music, you don't need millions of songs. You need like hundreds of songs to satisfy what most people need. But then yes, you can upload your own content. And then voiceovers are things that people use a lot, where they upload their own or use our AI voices to generate voiceovers.
Awesome.
And the last one here is kind of a more polished corporate. This was an internal comms plus something that would go on like a company LinkedIn page about a big initiative, but a little more polish in terms of using a lot of stock footage and photography, some that they uploaded, some from our libraries, but just a different flavor of the kind of things people make. And so, yeah, I think the rest of the 2.5 minute video is very similar, where they're just kind of, it's powerful statements with powerful backgrounds and stuff like that can be pretty compelling. And if, as you can imagine, this is incredibly simple to make, because all you're picking your images, deciding how you want to transition things, and then you kind of got your text and you're figuring out the timing and highlighting. But these are the kind of videos I think that in some contexts could be really expensive when done by agencies, but in reality, like when you're familiar with tools like Biteable, you can produce, you can get 80 to 90% of what a great agency can do with self-service tools, or at least provide a great proof of concept for what you're trying to do internally.
Yeah, we talked to you earlier this week, and we were talking a lot about use cases for our community in particular, who are predominantly filmmakers. We have, animators, a lot of creators, etc. So I think one of the good use cases that I could think of is almost like a concept sizzle reel, pulling in quickly. I am articulating your idea through video, essentially.
Yep.
Something that would probably be quite time consuming previously, and this can do it like really quickly, and also then kind of really makes it pop in terms of presenting to a client or presenting to a brand. So I think that could be a really useful way of using Biteable for our community.
Yeah, I totally agree. We see a lot of our customers, particularly in agencies. A lot of agencies will make videos on behalf of client or for clients, but I do see a lot of things where it's like, this is their fast iteration testing tool, where if they're presenting or pitching something or an idea, the higher quality visually and sort of production level, like, it's just going to make that conversation be more interesting and more real. And so bringing things to life with whatever medium is most useful, like flipping through slides versus watching a video, or having a video introduce a powerful concept, even if it's short, like those, it's just a way to use all these mediums now that they're more accessible with all the different tools available.
Yeah, I think using music and potentially VO as well just like really helps bring a concept to life, doesn't it? So it can really be a game changer in a presentation or a meeting or a presentation of a concept. It's kind of like really helping you get an idea across in a way which is going to probably connect with whoever you're speaking to a little bit more. So yeah, it's a really great and useful way to look at doing these things, I think.
Right.
Yeah, it'll certainly help you stand out, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I'm gonna hand over to you, Brent. At this point, you're gonna share your screen, take us through a demo of the platform.
Great. Okay, so I've got my Biteable demo account fired up here. I'm just gonna kind of make a video that could be something like launching a product, or kind of getting a quick new feature out the door. So we have a new feature that I wanted to kind of test out with this too. So I'll use that as the use case. But as you could assume, anyone trying to pitch a new concept, trying to create, that sizzle reel for something new, this is kind of that use case. And so you'll see some of the content and functionality for that. What I will start with is brands, since that came up. So when I'm creating, it's going to automatically be using some of Bitable's colors, because that's the features for Biteable. When we set up brands, this is kind of our brand management center. So in Biteable, you can have as many brands as you want. Actually, I think there is a limit of like 30 or 40, but typically we don't see that many. But that could be a company with lots of brands, or an agency supporting multiple clients and things like that. But we're just setting up basic branding elements. And as I said, if we wanted to set up a new brand, we can fetch the colors from sort of any website. We have some services that are attached to different tools to do that. But again, and as we think about enabling functionality and AI, it's like, where can you speed up something that used to take a bunch of time? And this might not be perfect if I'm fetching, if I wanted to do MoLabs, this might not be perfect, but if it helps someone get started, especially when they're testing out our product. So I'm going to cancel that so that I don't, so I can keep my brand. But this has a bunch of logos that are just available to me at the touch. Anytime I want to add, all this stuff is at my disposal. This is our corporate font. We can upload custom fonts and all that kind of stuff too. But when we use this, these combos that I set up here, these are the basics. This will drop in content in these kind of unique patterns, just so that I get a nice mix of colors. So something pretty cool that we'll see in the product. So as I go through creating, we'll see those colors used, and the logos and all that kind of stuff automatically injected, just to speed up the process. I'm going to use our video assistant, which it calls OpenAI or ChatGPT to create a script based on something that I'm creating. And then we're going to make a video about a new feature in our editor that we'll see and get to use as well. So if I wanted to use our generator, Biteable has a big template library of pre-made templates. There's thousands of them across different use cases, great styles that can help people get inspired. You can start sort of from a blank canvas if you'd like. We have recording tools to help if you want to record yourself or request recordings from others. With this video assistant, I'm going to do a product promotion of this new feature. I've kind of pre-put in some text. So we have this feature called script mode that we'll get to see. And it's just a cool way to edit with like a text-based editor instead of doing every single thing on the canvas. So when I generate this video, I want a 16:9 video. I have some preset styles I can use. Some of these will inherit my brand settings. Some of them will not, and they have their own fonts and styles and stuff set to them. This is my new favorite one that we've launched recently. I just think it's pretty cool, and it also works with the brand. So when I build this, what it's going to do is take this information I provided, just a basic set of info, the name of the feature I want to talk about, and it's going to generate a script. Hopefully, when ChatGPT is having fits, then so do we. But this one looks pretty quick. So this is going to generate a script based on what I wanted to do, a promotion of a feature. And this actually did just generate this video. And so this is all it's doing is saying, for us, we have a pretty simple method. This isn't trying to create imagery and all this stuff. We're just trying to get you a good script to get started. And this is saying a promotion. We're going to have a 6-scene video with a script that we create. So as we flip through this, like, here's my title scene. It dropped in my logo. If I would have used a different brand, it would have used different colors and different logo. Tired of clicking on, tired of clunky video editing tools. So it's generating the script instructions that it's getting are, ask an open-ended question to kind of highlight the topic. And then we want to say, this is what this feature does. And this is like a supporting, feature. So it's like, here's the body, here's the contents, generate something that fits into this, so that if this is my first experience using Biteable, this is pretty amazing that I typed in 20 words and now I've got a good video to work with. There's a lot of things I see that I don't like about this. Like the colors all look pretty similar. So I might want to mix it up a little bit more. It didn't give me too much variation, but I can do some of that. As I look at this video, I'll kind of dive in and show off sort of some of the features and different kind of tools that we have. But this is decent. This is like, this was not a generated stock image. So I might want to replace this. If I've got transform videos to script mode, I might want something that's more about videos. So we integrate with different libraries for stock footage, stock photography. But if I wanted something that was more around video, I can use something like that. Actually, let me use an image so I don't have to change the frame. But if I wanted a video image, it's going to plop that in. So I've got pretty quick access to the different content. As I showed, changing colors, changing text, all that stuff's quite easy. This is one where I was going to show kind of our scene library. So this concept the whole video is about script mode. This is a new feature that is enabled on my account, but is not in all accounts, where it's just a way to kind of edit a little differently, where I've got this cool mode that pops up where I can just type in here. So if I don't like the way that it's presenting my industry, like tired of kind of slow video editing processes, I can just edit right in an editor like that and make some, easy, simple changes that are just appearing in the script. So we kind of love this method because it mimics how some people use other tools, but this would be a feature that we'll be launching in the next 2 or 3 weeks for all customers. And so we need, a little sizzle video that's going to help showcase it. And this would be a great way to do that. What I'll also show here is if I want to incorporate my own content. So this, isn't super relevant, but if I wanted to say, hey, what I really want here is a little video demo. So I'm going to move some of my text out of the way. Maybe I want that to be a little bit bigger to highlight some stuff, and just going to go. So I'm just going to highlight some of this sort of simple tooling here. So this, instead of having an image, I'm actually going to replace this and use a video I uploaded earlier of like a screen share of using script mode. So this one is a little screen recording I did using Biteable. I'm going to add this in. When I added that in, it resized my scene automatically to match the duration of this video. And so this video, let's see, I want to reset the aspect ratio. So this is a video that was recorded and sort of trimmed off, and I'm just going to have this be a scene that I'm using to showcase this. So as you can see what I'm doing, like the whole point of our tool is really simple editing tools, things that you would be familiar with from slides and PowerPoint and stuff like that, to be able to adjust things, change, whatever settings make sense. But now I've got a video in this scene that is like a recorded video asset that I've uploaded that I can play as like a demo that plays. So we'll kind of look at this and say, how do we want the timing to work? We're going to have the text come in, and then we'll have this video come in maybe like 2 seconds later. I have this graphic that's in the background that I might get rid of because I don't need it anymore. That's kind of distracting, this animation here. So like pretty simple controls on all this, make the font a little easier to read. And when I play this back, it's going to transition into this scene and then play this video. I kind of want this video I want to have a nice little effect. So it's going to scale up and have kind of a cool effect. I think I'm going to get rid of this little artifact here. And I can see all the layers and all the stuff on here, but we'll play this to see how it looks. So a lot of Biteable is this just sort of simple editor that gives you all the video functionality, adds the dimension of time and animations. Now, the area that I think is most differentiated and unique for us, and where our customers use us when Canva is sort of not a fit, or I think Adobe Premiere and Final Cut Pro may not be the type of tools because they're not experts. And so something like Biteable is appealing, but where some of the other editors that do have nice video products may not have the same capabilities as really in the content. So I made this scene kind of from scratch, added a video, moved some stuff around. I might want to look at layouts that are pre-made that save me a bunch of time. So if I wanted a video, I might say, okay, I want to lay out, let's get something where I'm putting media into it, and I've got a bunch of different options. I might want to put that in a frame. So I've got some cool like laptop and computer options. So if I wanted to use this to showcase that video, that might be an interesting option, that I want to look at two different scenes of how can I incorporate that video and replace that in the scene, instead of having it, take up the whole bottom half of the scene. I can do the same thing and put that video right in here, and I can kind of finagle with it and trim it and place it the right way, but I'm not going to spend too much time on that. But this scene library is a lot of sort of where Biteable spends time, is thinking through, okay, what are all of the layouts, options, different styles. We have thousands of character scenes that can be used for all sorts of different purposes. We have every icon you can imagine available for users, and these can be scenes where if I want to add this as a scene and use the text. So a lot of the stuff you saw in the Upwork video was just using pretty simple scenes like this. Can tweak this if I don't like the colors, but I can use my message and have this animation complement it. We also have kind of decomposed our scene library, which has thousands of scenes, animation styles, and said, okay, what if people they just want to use pieces of a scene? So I have all of those, any arrows, any items that we see can be added as sort of components as well, and sort of resized, recolored. We started really seeing popular things with the effects, where I can add, I think in one of our videos, there was a confetti animation. And so like, this is pretty cool. I can have this confetti effect happen on a scene, or add it if I'm celebrating something. So that's a lot of what we do, is think through what is all the content that helps people get their message across. Two things I'll mention here, and then kind of go to the published part, and then we can kind of ask questions or move around whatever's interesting. One topic I know that's interesting to you is sort of, how do you keep things represent diversity or have options for that? So one interesting thing I found, particularly during COVID and different periods, was characters help a lot. So when we have character scenes, we will want to represent lots of different body types. We have, handicap scenes that we want to make sure that a company can be inclusive, or the producer of anything can have. And a lot of these things are very thoughtfully designed, like there's no face on here. So some of this is like, it can be used in a lot of different ways. And we'll always add, when we do a character set, this particular set is called Diverse Workplace, and it was meant to kind of help show that diversity in all sorts of different things. So this workplace set, lots of different skin tone options, but thinking through how do we do a good job representing diversity. The other piece that I found interesting is a lot of our customers will say, we love Biteable because we don't want people, because people means we have to think through a lot of these things, and we might not think about things the right way, or offend someone unintentionally. And so we do have character sets that are animals that can be really helpful. So as this loads, that's our bear scene, like I'd say robot, and we have this Frank character that are incredibly popular, not just in like education settings, but for business, training, marketing. There's a lot you can do with an animated character that people could make things more complicated in some of those ways. So we were pleasantly surprised of how versatile these characters were for companies that were trying to actually represent diversity by not having to use one stock image or photo. we have a library of stock footage, and we have, multiple places, but they're often very challenged with the photo shoots and the libraries. So I think a lot of stock providers really tried to add more variety, but it's hard to stay on top of things constantly. So that's stuff that we have to think about a lot too, because it matters to all of our customers. Couple last things in our editor that I'll show. AI voices have probably been the fastest growing feature that I've ever seen us launch. We launched with a handful of voices. We immediately got requests for every language possible. I don't think I shared my sound, but let me actually reshare just so I can get the sound on here. We use Amazon Polly, which has a great, robust library of voices, but when we added these, we immediately got requests for every accent of the English language, all sorts of requests for, obviously French, Spanish, Portuguese, German, like any large country and languages where our customers are spread across the world. But these have all become like incredibly popular. Just I think it helps people add that other dimension to what they're doing. So if we wanted to say, welcome to Biteable. Actually, Biteable doesn't always get said that well. I kind of have to edit that in captions a lot, but welcome to kind of script mode, an exciting way to edit video, And my favorite, I like Arthur, British guy.
Hello, I'm Arthur. When your script needs a touch of swagger,
That's a preview. When we just click generate video, it'll use Arthur's voice to generate a video. We can listen to it.
Welcome to script mode, an exciting way to edit videos.
All these different voices. There's this Ruth voice uses like the most advanced Adobe or Amazon kind of voice set, but they're constantly updating things, so that we love any of the tools that are best of breed that we can integrate into our application they are constantly getting better. They're adding, I had someone yesterday ask for Indonesian, which we don't have, and Amazon Polly doesn't have. As soon as they have it, then we'll be able to add it into the product. So a lot of the things, particularly with AI, when we can find best of breed tools and put it right in the place where users actually need it. If they had to go to a third party to generate the voice and then upload it in, that's just a lot of extra steps where we can actually say these are the most robust, best voices to use. So we'll add Ruth in here and add it to the timeline. And then we can just sort of move it wherever we want her to speak that. And we can add a lot of people end up doing voiceovers for every scene or for entire videos. You can obviously upload your own stuff as well. We'll play this so we can hear Ruth.
Welcome to script mode, an exciting way to edit videos.
And so our system will like automatically fade the music when the voiceovers come in and stuff like that. I'm going to show some publishing things quickly, but any other things I should show off in the editor that you think are kind of interesting, or questions?
Not for me. That looks like a very robust demonstration. Thank you so much. Like, there's so many cool features in here, which is like you're thinking like filmmakers with this tool. And I think that's really amazing to see. And like even just the integration of the diversity thing, which is super important to us, and we know it's important to our community too, is an amazing thing to see. The character thing is interesting as well. We often have that challenge when we're doing those types of videos, and shapes is often one that we kind of use as an alternative, and you see a lot in that kind of space. The voices thing, we actually did an episode with Altered AI, which is one of the other amazing voice platforms, and how you can kind of morph your own voice to have different accents and different sort of tones and volumes and all that kind of stuff. So I can totally see how that injection into the Biteable platform is just going to progress, as quickly as that part of this industry does. So it's amazing that you can integrate that.
Yeah, I've kind of found since the early days of, ChatGPT sort of making everybody move really quickly that there's a lot of stuff we need to figure out and do on our own. But then as Runway and a lot of the Adobe tools, Synthesia and other avatar solutions, if we can find, when they start offering their services via APIs or SDKs, like then we can actually plug in the best of breed things that lets us move faster. And Biteable, it's a platform for stitching all this stuff together. It's where you take all the different types of content and put it together. So I think it's interesting. I think in that respect, I think we're sort of fortunate if we move quickly and kind of give customers what they need by adding these tools, where we're, the new Sora and video generation, like those to us are awesome stock assets that can really help complete a story, but that story is not complete alone. There's going to be text needed, voiceover needed, that maybe one day, years from now, the entire video is generated just from what someone thought. But I think that seems, particularly for the kind of messages like a company announcement of a new product, like there is no images yet of that product available. So I think those are the things that are interesting to us. The last thing I'll show, I'm just going to go to a published video. When a user publishes a video, the video builds in HD. You can export as a GIF. You can export an MP4. You can view you have analytics on the views if you're sharing the hosted page on a link. You can add a call to action at the end of the video if you're trying to drive people to register for something or view additional resources. You can add closed captions if there's any spoken words in the video. We have a service that will go listen to it, closed caption the video in whatever language is being spoken, and add those in as captions. But all the kind of basic stuff that someone would need once they're done and kind of ready to share their assets.
Can you share directly to your channels?
Yeah, if you're doing, if you were posting on YouTube, the platforms they don't want links. And so for YouTube, you would download and upload the MP4 and use a lot of their native tools for call to actions inside the video are definitely the best thing to use. But then for something like Instagram, TikTok, again, downloading and uploading is going to keep people on platform and help the algorithms. Sharing with a link is typically internal corporate stuff, or sharing a draft via email where you might want to get comments from people, and then publishing is almost always going to be a download to an MP4.
Cool.
Awesome. I think what strikes me is the level, like you can totally dial up the curation and personalization of the video, or like depending on if you need it to be that way or versus templated, and just quick and easy solutions. So yeah, love that.
Awesome. Well, what else can I answer or help explain or anything like that?
I guess I had a question around the time saving aspect of this. Like I can totally see how it streamlines the process. I mean, do you have any like facts and figures to share? Like on average, how much quicker is it taking people to create a small video like the one that you've just demoed in comparison to traditional forms of doing it? How much time do you think people are saving?
So I think it's an interesting question. I think the way it's just different, right? Like if there was something there might be videos where you're using Final Cut Pro or Premiere and you're like, that it's really simple. I can do this in Biteable in half the time because I don't have to worry about the assets. I don't have to it's got the stock library there with one click. So there's that situation where there's some types of content that might be much faster. I think what's really happening though is that professional creatives who like Premiere, they're doing, but they're empowering a marketing team, additional use cases that they would have never done in Premiere because it took too long or it was too much effort, where they can do more or tackle different things in a tool, in a more DIY tool that's kind of all in one. And as we mentioned before, like it might be that they do the draft in get approval for something in a Biteable video, and then actually gear up the whole process to do it in a different review cycle when they use a different tool. So it's hard because it's not purely comparable. It's sort of like adding a new way to do things and empowering a different set of users to take on different use cases. Also, like I give an example, like I write a weekly note to our company every single week. Since I've worked at Biteable for 4 years, every single week, my notes have all gone to video. Like writing something that the whole company's going to read and think about, like the time it takes, where I just record myself on a video, I do a screen share, pop it into a video, like it's so much faster and more compelling. Like they can click a link and kind of watch it or listen to it. I also can see, are people actually watching it instead of sending an email or just a Slack message, actually get some views. So I think that just drastically changes like what you can do when you're comfortable with some tools like this.
Yeah, it's a bit of a mindset shift. We do so many slides, decks, or PDF like documents to send out, and I think that kind of shift of it actually will take probably the same time, if not less, to do a video, and you're more likely to get engagement with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, Loom, the video recording tool, became very popular at the beginning of the pandemic. It's just like it's so efficient to share quick information that way, versus like typing some long email. When I thought of Bitable's positioning, as we thought, how are we going to differentiate from Canva and other tools? It was very clear we needed to be businesses making video to communicate with their customers, stakeholders, employees, was like where we felt most differentiated. And a lot of it's because of the content that we had. And the first sort of positioning statement I thought of was like, no one's reading your emails. Like, that's why Biteable, because no one is reading your long emails, especially in a remote work from home environment where they're getting a long email about a thing that's going to happen in the future. Like, no one reads it. But if you send a video, it's just a different way to engage people.
Yeah, I love that.
Absolutely. So I'm guessing we're running out of time very soon.
We've just had a question come in on the chat.
Yeah, okay. Right, let me share this question with you, Brent.
I can see it, yeah.
Oh, you can see it, Nish, yeah.
I think the short answer is yes, for sure. That I think that involving it early on. I know a couple customers who that is specifically what they do, is they will use it for briefs, and if they get a job or something, then they're gonna go into their full process. But yeah, it's especially when they've got some templates set up for how they want to pitch things. That's a very efficient use of their time versus whatever they were doing before.
Yeah, definitely. I'm inspired. I'm gonna use it for my next presentation, that's for sure. Well, I had one final question, and then I think we'll probably finish, but it was around like subscription and whether, I don't know if you tend to lean more towards company sign-ups, or if you have an individual plans, and what those subscription models look like.
Yeah, we're a small company. We don't have sales. We have very few marketers, so it's all self-service. And you can go to the website, sign up for a free trial. Anyone, typically it's individuals signing up for, but they're typically doing business or work related things. There's students and stuff too, but it's not a personal kind of video product. It would be more for like communicating business information or marketing related things, but free to sign up and have a trial to kick the tires on the product, and anyone can do that anytime. And then the product, there's two versions of the product. There's our Pro product and our Premium. The difference in those is the Premium has multiple users that come with it, and all of the sort of AI tools, which is captions, voices, stuff like that. And it's for our Pro product, it's $29 a month or $180 a year. For our Premium, it is $588 a year or $99 a month. That's actually test pricing that's happening in the site right now for most new users. On the pricing page, it would look a little bit more expensive, but if you went in today, there's a great test going on this month. And also it's a subscription product, so you can cancel at any time and rejoin, and all your projects and stuff are still there. So it's meant knowing that a lot of customers will have cycles where they're doing work for clients or just they don't need videos every single month. That's like, we sort of embrace that as part of the product and pricing.
Yeah, and it's great that all your stuff's still there as well. That's
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. Okay. Well, it was absolutely wonderful to have you, Brent. Thank you so much. Really inspiring, and actually I'm going to go in and play around. And yeah, it's a really cool platform. So thank you for your time taking us through it.
Awesome. Well, thank you for having me.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.